What's up, guys? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. I'm Tim Geddes, joined by Gary Whitta, of course, because it is Whitta Wednesday.
Whitta Wednesday!
Whitta Wednesday. May 1st. How does that make you feel?
It's gonna be May.
Thank you for that.
You
I
like
love
that?
you so much, Gary.
You like that?
I missed you. It's been a while since the two of us on the show.
You know, may I say, Tim, you're one of my favorite people to host
Thank
with.
you. I appreciate that. I really do. Cheers to that.
Cheers to you.
God, it makes me feel good. So good. There's nothing cooler than before the show goes live, me and you sitting here talking about Star Wars.
We were just riffing on Star Wars, Endgame. We've been talking about all the pop culture hotspots of the week. Yeah,
good fun. You finally saw Endgame.
Finally saw it. I had to spend the whole weekend dodging spoilers, which was rough. But I did manage to. None of the big things that you consider like the big event. And obviously, we won't spoil anything
spoilers,
here. We won't spoil anything here because obviously not everyone's had a chance to go see it yet. And I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but at least a week before you start blurting out stuff.
What are your thoughts? What are the top level Gary Whitta hot takes?
Bottom line is I loved it. I actually traditionally don't like the Avengers team up movies as much as I like the more single character centered ones. I really like the first Avengers. Didn't like Ultron at all. Thought Infinity War was good but not great.
Wow,
but I thought Endgame was marvelous.
Hell yeah!
And
marvelous.
it really
I like what you did there.
That was completely unintended. I thought it was terrific. I thought that given I was just talking to Nick about this earlier. Given from a screenwriting perspective, given how much they have to juggle, how many characters and how many themes and how many references to previous movies, and they have to wrap it all up and make sure it feels like it's all, the sum of its parts at the end and it feels satisfying. It's a tremendous achievement. And again, I know many people have commented on some people, but if you take it as a whole, the last 10 years, what they achieved with that cinematic universe is just absolutely staggering.
It is.
Just staggering.
It really is.
Like truly one of the great pop culture edifices of our lifetime. Those 22 movies.
You think you'll write a Marvel movie one day?
I would love to.
What would be the movie?
Squirrel Girl.
Sorry, game fans.
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl?
I want to do Squirrel Girl. She's my favorite.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I am in. We'll have to talk about that another time. Maybe on our new show, We Have Cool Friends. We'll sit you down and talk to you about
You have a show called Cool Friends?
We Have Cool Friends. It's coming up next month. Oh, this month, I guess. It's May.
And that's you just bring in like random cool people?
It's just an interview show.
That's fun.
Yeah,
all right, cool. Do you have anyone lined up for that yet?
Yeah, we already shot one with Devin Sawa. We shot one with Anthony Rapp. Gary Whitta might be next. We'll have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, that's so far away. This is Kind of Funny Games Daily each and every weekday right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We get together and talk about all of the video game news that you need to know. You can watch the show live on Twitch. You can watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or Kind of Funny Games or on roosterteeth.com or as a podcast on podcast services around the globe, all that good stuff. You can get the show ad-free by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can also write into the show there. And if you're watching live, we have a very special task for you. Go to kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong. Let us know what we get wrong as we screw it up live in the show. Today, we are talking about Borderlands 3 with a lot of info coming in hot. The gameplay reveal just happened, and I'm going to be looking at Jonathon Dornbush's article he's writing because he has really succinct impressions, and I appreciate that. Good old John Dorn, the Bush. Days Gone patches and more. Little housekeeping for you. Kind of Funny Gamescast is taking over the Borderlands 3 reveal event that just happened. Fran is streaming right now. If you're very interested in Borderlands, I recommend you go check that out. Borderlands.com is where that's happening. I heard Greg is crashing that as well. Because Greg, Andrea, and Fran, the Borderlands people, all went to go cover the event, so they left me and Gary Whitta here.
The non-Borderlands
people to give you the rundown. So I'm happy we have Jonathon Dornbush to help. The Vancouver meet and greet is this Saturday, May 4th. Go to kindoffunny.com/events for more on that. And thank you to our Patreon producers, Tom Bach, Blackjack, James Davis, and Muhammad. We're brought to you by Sherries Berries and ProFlowers, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We got 6 news stories today.
The Baker's Dozen!
Thank you very much. Let's start with the big one, Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal. I'm going, like I said, straight over to good old IGN.com, where Jonathon Dornbush is updating his article as he's writing it, like a real professional.
This is still happening as we speak.
It just ended, but there's still, so there was the pre-show that Greg, Andrea, and Fran were hosting, and then there was the actual reveal event. Then they did a post-show. Now
all the stream, they said they had like 200 machines, and all the streamers are doing their streams.
This is the gameplay reveal. So if you're into the gameplay, there's a lot of gameplay out there right now that you can go check out. But if you just want an idea of how this is all going, Jonathon writes, Gearbox Software has shown Borderlands 3's gameplay for the first time in a live stream that highlighted a number of new features the studio is introducing in its upcoming loot shooter, which is currently available for pre-order and set to be shown off more at E3. For starters, player movement appears to be much more fluid than in previous games, with Borderlands 3 adding the ability to mantle over cover and other parts of the environment, as well as allowing players to perform running slides to make firefights more dynamic. Borderlands 3's demo featured new playable character Amara, the Siren Lilith, the return of Claptrap, and more. Some of the Borderlands 3 details leaked in April were also confirmed during the gameplay demo. Weapons are indeed allotted an overall score, making it easier to discern at a glance if they're better or worse than what you currently have, which should be a big time saver considering there's a billion different guns in the game. Last week, when they were prepping for doing the hosting for the show, we were in a car, and it was me, John Drake, Andrea, Fran, and Greg Miller. And Andrea and Fran were arguing over whether it's a billion guns or a bazillion guns.
Okay.
And the answer is a bazillion, Gary.
That's a lot.
But Fran would not agree with that. And Fran, you're a fucking idiot. It's a bazillion.
You had to go look up the trailer.
And listen, he goes, oh man, I guess you're right. Certain weapons will also
that was a good
feature.
friend.
Thank you. I've been working on it for years. Certain weapons will also feature an alternate fire mode, with the example shown in the demo, an assault rifle that can be toggled to a hyper missile launcher. Okay. Changes to the skill tree system were also evident. Each of the 4 playable characters now begins the game with 3 action skills instead of 1, with more unlocking as the player levels up. Action skills can also be augmented with elemental effects. Jonathon Dornbush killing it with this article. This is everything I needed.
One the executive summary.
Yeah, go read this, IGN.com. Obviously, give them the click for it. Elsewhere, the tweaks to the franchise's formula seem numerous in Borderlands 3. Ammunition vending machines now feature single button press instant refill options, so you're not forced to stop and scroll through the items, and players can now heal and be healed by NPCs like Claptrap. At one point in the gameplay demo, the view switched perspectives between 2 players in co-op in order to highlight the previously announced change to the loot system. It showed that single instances of weapons can be picked up by multiple players, and that the level of the weapons automatically scales relative to the level of the individual player. Borderlands 3 will offer both loot and level scaling for players, but a classic mode will allow players to experience 3 the way that 1 and 2 played in regards to levels and loot. The biggest reveal of the demo was the player's spaceship, named Sanctuary 3, a hub world for the player to use in exploring the galaxy. This hulking mobile hub is home to numerous returning characters like Mad Moxie, and contains an infirmary, a bar with gambling machines, individual quarters for the 4 main characters that can be customized, and even a lost and found machine for any loot you lose track of down on a planet's surface. It doesn't appear that players will be able to manually pilot the ship, but you can jump to hyperspace and orbit each of the planet if you want. That's how the fast travel works in the game. The gameplay demo culminated with the reveal of one of those planets, Promethea, which is a futuristic metropolis far removed from the familiar wasteland of Pandora. Promethea has been mentioned in previous Borderlands games, but this is the first time we actually seen it. At the reveal event, Gearbox's Randy Pitchford confirmed campaign DLC will be coming, and that there won't be any free-to-play microtransactions as part of the experience. Pitchford hopes Borderlands 3 is both a good entry point and a welcome return for fans of the series. Then he also said that Borderlands 3 will appear at E3, Gamescom, PAX, and other events, including Guardian Con, the Destiny event in Orlando, Florida. Barrett,
What's up?
Out of everyone in this room, I feel like you care about Borderlands the most.
Yeah, and that's still not saying a whole hell of a lot. I remember playing Borderlands, the first one, when it came out, and I was really into it. Wanted to play 2, never got around to playing Borderlands 2. But seeing all of these updates and seeing kind of like this Borderlands 3 after this whole wave of kind of like online looter shooters that we have all been super into, like Division 2 and Destiny and all that stuff. I feel like this is a game that like Kevin and I will easily be into, like when it comes out, for like a good, like it'll take over our lives for a couple of weeks. The more I'm seeing the gameplay, the more I'm super into it, and I like imagine like there will be a lot of late nights with Mr. Miller and all of them.
The gameplay looks amazing. Did you get a chance to see any of this, Gary?
I saw a little bit of it. To be honest with you, I'm probably not going to be like a hugely valuable contributor to this conversation, because Borderlands just isn't my cup of tea. I'm sure
Borderlands.
It's boring lands for me. That's not to say it isn't a great series of games. It obviously is much loved, and Borderlands 1 and 2 are both widely celebrated, and this is hugely anticipated. It's something to do with the aesthetic, that kind of cartoony, cel shaded aesthetic. It's just personally not my cup of tea. So I will maybe give it a try. I mean, I do like this kind of game. I love the Division 2.
Yeah.
I do like these open world games when they work well. I guess I don't know if you can even answer this question, but like historically, have the Borderlands game always been that kind of loot shooter, open online world thing, or is it?
They kind of invented it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's kind of their thing, and then all these other games kind of came in, and I really feel like it was Destiny that came after this. Bungie, after making Halo for so many years, was kind of like, let's combine Halo, which was for a long time the standard of first-person shooters, but let's combine it with Borderlands, which was this up-and-coming thing with the more wide-scale MMO.
I guess it's interesting because I guess given its pedigree and just the size of the game and all the hype around it, Destiny has since become known as widely thought to be kind of the origin of the genre. Right? People say, "Oh, it's like a Destiny type loot shooter," as if Destiny was the beginning of that genre. But it sounds like Borderlands historically, actually, even though it's not as big a deal, kind of did this first, right? This is where, like you said, this is where it all came from.
Yeah, definitely a lot of the mechanics and a lot of just the way that the systems work and all of that. I've always been interested in Borderlands because of the aesthetic. I always thought that the cel-shaded stuff looked really cool.
Yeah.
And it's rare that we see, there was a time period, I would say, in the early 2000s where everything was cel-shaded.
Right.
Around Wind Waker and all that. Back to the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, original one.
Yeah, and Jet Grind Radio and all that stuff.
And all that stuff. I feel like there was a big reliance on that because it allowed games to look timeless. Like those games still look good to an extent compared to other PS2 games and other GameCube games.
Yeah, and Telltale made a whole aesthetic out of it.
Exactly. And then when we got to the next gen, which was now last gen, I feel like we kind of lost that a bit because the graphics were good enough to like have other art styles that would stand the test of time. So that's why Borderlands to me was always a refreshing kind of callback to a different time, and it looked great seeing cel shaded in HD. Seeing this gameplay cel shaded in like super HD, it looks fantastic.
I mean, I like that it does offer something different. If you think about other games in this genre, whether it be The Division or Destiny or Anthem, those are kind of the three big ones that are out there right now. They all have a very similar aesthetic, right? Very grounded, very realistic, going for that kind of photorealistic look, and they're all to some extent you take themselves very seriously.
Yeah.
So the fact that Borderlands is out there, which is basically pure, goes all out for comedy and has a very stylized, cartoony aesthetic. And I think that's why it's popular because it is something so different. So I applaud them for that.
Like I said, this is all coming in pretty hot, but all the reactions I was seeing on Twitter for people seem to be really into this. If you have other information, let me know. Kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong right now. We can read some of those.
I think there was a bit of a clarification. So I was just reading Twitter on the way over here, and Rebecca Valentine from GameIndustry.biz, who's been in this chair before, who's at the event, had some clarification on after Randy Pitchford said no microtransactions in talking to Borderlands people after the fact that there are in fact microtransactions, but they're cosmetic only. And there was some, I guess what Randy was trying to say was like, we're not going to nickel and dime you with microtransactions. But to say that there are no microtransactions in the game is not free to play
microtransactions.
Right.
So I feel like
I
feel like he was trying to say what you're saying.
Right.
So
he's saying like there's no like pay to get good. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Right.
But like having said that, I feel like everything that I just read here from Jonathon sounds like they're doing the right thing. It sounds like people like this. This sounds like what a Borderlands 3 should be. There was a big question for a while where does Borderlands fit in 2019? Like, we have seen the genre kind of evolve so much, but the franchise has been gone for a while. Like, we haven't seen a proper Borderlands entry in years. So for it to come out now, I feel like they really kind of had to like knock it out of the park right out of the gate, and it looks like they did. I love all that I'm hearing here about you can play it the new way or you can play it how you used to play it. It's like that's great, and it's really thinking about the new players that they might get, talking about this being a great jump on point. That's great for people like Barrett and Kevin.
And for me, who never really, I tinkered around with the Borderlands games. I never really got hardcore into them. That's going to be the big question. There's obviously a very, very passionate hardcore of Borderlands fans who've been there from the beginning who will be all over this game, and that's their base. The question is, in the increasingly crowded space that we have, where it's more about time than it is anything. You only have so many hours a day to play games and invest into, like, a lot of my time goes into the Division. When I have time to play a game, that's what I play. So now it becomes a battle for a player's attention. And can Borderlands come into what is now a very crowded space where there's a lot of competition for your playing hours and convince people to stop, drop the game that they're currently probably already into,
I mean,
and come over to the other side of the street.
I feel like they've already kind of won that fight. A September release date, like that's such a great time for what you're saying, right? By that point, Division will be old news. There will have been enough of the updates, and people, are used to that loop that you're either continuing to do Division 2 constantly, or you can take a break to play something.
Yeah, I mean,
new.
I think it sounds like Division 2 and Anthem both sold well initially out of the gate, but the fact that they came out so close to one another can't have been good for either of those games because again, there's only not everyone's buying a new $60 game every month, and even if you do buy both, you probably don't. There probably aren't enough hours in the day to put a significant gameplay investment. You've got to pick one and go with it because these games are time sinks basically, and it's not. I don't think people are juggling multiple loot shooters all the time because they require so much of your time. So I think you may be right that coming out in September, when as far as I know, there's not any similar competition, and people are starting to itch for something new. That might be the right time.
Because typically we don't get to the first-person shooter releases until late October, early November for the Call of Duty's Battlefields of the world. And even those are different, right? Like those are more, you play through the campaign and then you either get really into the multiplayer or you don't, right? Whereas these kind of more looter shooter based ongoing games as services kind of take a bit more time out of people's mind share. But yeah, it's September, I think, is a perfect time for them to come out. I love how they're releasing the information of this right now. Late May, September's not that far away, right? This is now a perfect thing they're talking about E3, they're talking about all these trade shows they're going to. Just build the hype right into September.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's obviously it's obviously also slightly defined by when they can actually get the game out and finish development of it and get it ready. And especially now, one of the things that has really, really besieged this kind of genre, and we saw this very, very much with Anthem, is if you launch a game before it's fully feature complete and fully ready, you will really, really suffer for it. People will not be happy, and the Division demonstrated how well it can work when a game is actually launched in good shape. So that's now the expectation. People don't want another Anthem, they want another Division where the game is actually fun out of the gate, not maybe 6 months down the road and people have to suffer through bugs and bullshit in the meantime. So they hopefully are very, very confident the game will be fully ready to go and is not going to require some massive patch 2 or 3 months from now. They'll get it out in time, but you're right, September is perfect because again, it's just at the point where even if you're into Anthem or Division or Destiny right now, come September you might be kind of itching for something new, but it's also just before the big holiday wave of all the mega releases.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. And speaking of patches, Gary, that was an excellent segue here. Days Gone has gotten a new patch nearly every day since launch.
Oh, wow.
This comes from Joshua Rivera at Kotaku. Days Gone, the PlayStation exclusive zombie survival game, has received nearly daily tweaks since launch, including a new patch today that corrects an issue introduced in yesterday's patch. The game's launched with bugs that included things like an audio that dropped in and out, texture pop-in, and frequent frame rate drops. It's received 7 patches in its brief life, 3 coming pre-release, with 4 more in the 5 days following launch. Today's 1.07 patch replaces Tuesday's 1.06 release, which was meant to fix an audio bug that caused in-game motorcycle audio to cut out at drop at random and address a problem with the autosave function that wouldn't sync the right number of saves to users' cloud save accounts. Trouble was, some users reported that patch 1.06 was causing their console to crash, and 1.07 addresses this by removing the autosave fix, with a note from the developers apologizing for any inconvenience the patch may have caused and urging players to report bugs on the Days Gone subreddit, where Sony Bend monitors a bug report thread. So that's interesting, but there's one key thing that I left out, and it's the last couple sentences here. As frequent as the patches have been, Sony hasn't yet approached the extremely patchy first 2 weeks of last year's God of War, a game that launched on April 20th and in its first 11 days received 8 patches. There's still time and more bugs to squash. I don't remember that.
I don't either. But then I didn't play God of War until after. It was like a couple of weeks after. So I probably had one cumulative patch and that was it.
Yeah.
If you're buying the game day one. I often say, as hard as it is to resist sometimes, especially with eagerly anticipated titles, if you can, don't buy a game on day one, because look, this is the norm now. Mm-hmm. You're basically paying them to be a beta tester.
It's really crazy, and it is just the way things are, and I don't think that it's even possible to go back to how things used to be, nor is that a good idea necessarily, because back in the day, if this were to happen, the game's that way. There's no fixing it.
But it wouldn't happen because they knew there was no way to fix it, so they made sure that everything was fixed before it released.
Good point. Yeah. Because I remember
now the fact that that everything's connected and you can patch it has become a crutch for shipping a game and saying, well, we'll fix it in the patches.
Yeah.
And that's the new normal.
Mm-hmm. And then every patch, you need to fix the last patch.
I mean, Anthem had that problem as well. They would patch something, and it would fix the issue it was intended to patch, but it would have a weird side effect where it would break something else.
Yeah.
Then you got to patch that. It's like playing whack-a-mole.
Mm-hmm. I remember it was the PS2 generation with Prince of Persia, the second one, Warrior Within. I loved those games. And playing through it, I got right to the end, and then there was a game-breaking bug at the end. That there was a door that just wouldn't open.
Oh man!
And it was a problem. They had to recall the discs and then put out new discs. That didn't help me at all. I was fucked.
Right.
I never beat that game because of that.
That
I ended up
sucks.
just years later watching the ending on YouTube. But yeah, it's like that. You just can't fix the games in just like a download patch the way you can now.
Right.
But this, you're right. It is a reliance on this. Like, oh, we'll just put it out and we'll fix the things as we go. And in some cases, patches can be really good things. Like I remember with God of War, it's like eventually they added patches that added photo mode. And they added new features.
New Game Plus and all kinds of cool stuff.
Exactly, all the cool stuff, not just like trying to fix the game as it goes. And I think the reason that I don't remember God of War being so patchy was that the game was good. Like everybody kind of loved it, and it worked straight out the gate enough. Like I didn't have any game-breaking issues or any issues really with God of War at all, and I played pre-release. Whereas Days Gone, I played for 2.5 hours and I had issues. And Greg and all of them had way more than me because they put in many more hours.
So Greg hooks me up with a copy of Days Gone, but part of the reason why I didn't...
PlayStation hooked you up.
I didn't... Oh, that's right. Provided by PlayStation.
Yes.
But I haven't tried it yet, partly because I was seeing that Andrea and other people were having all these problems with the audio dropouts and some of the other issues. Like, it's nice to see they're getting fixed. I'm still kind of on the fence about whether or not I want to jump in. Are you enjoying that game?
No, I gave up. But I knew it wasn't for me. And that's the thing is, it's like I'm not going to hazard opinion on whether or not it's a good game. It's not a me game. I didn't enjoy the time that I had.
Why do you even
it.
try playing it then, if it's not your cup of tea?
Because I was enticed by the story elements of it. Horizon was the same way, where I know I don't really typically enjoy open world games because I just don't like sinking too much time into one game.
Okay.
I much prefer Uncharted. I much prefer Last of Us type.
Well, it's just a critical path that you follow.
Path.
Yeah.
But Horizon allowed me to critical path the game and get the story from it. And you do side missions every once in a while, but if I'm enticed, that's good.
Yeah.
If like I can break from my mold of what I typically like, that's showing me that the game is that damn good, right? And there are games like that, Horizon being one of them. Days Gone, I pretty quickly realized there is no critical path.
Okay.
Like it is, the whole world is kind of just story elements everywhere.
A lot of meandering.
And the story seemed interesting for what I was playing, but I was like, the gameplay is not holding up for me. But I was shocked. You can watch our full review on Gamescast that went up early this week. But I was shocked because I knew it wasn't a Tim Geddes game. It really felt like a Greg Miller game. It felt like everything that he would like from video games. Like
but even Greg was kind of lukewarm on it.
But then later, after talking to him, the more I talked to him, the more I realized, I'm like, oh man, he doesn't like it. Like, he doesn't like it at all. So... there's that. Watch the Gamescast
but I'm
for more
seeing,
in-depth
like my friend Mike Krahulik over at Penny Arcade is loving it. Yeah. One of his favorite games this year. So it's obviously all subjective, but I think I ultimately am. My wife might enjoy it because she loves Horizon and Assassin's Creed. She loves those kind of explory open world games, so she may enjoy it. Part of the reason why I had been holding off on it is because I'd heard about all these technical issues, but it sounds like they're hopefully mostly patched out by now.
Keep going. Yeah,
we'll see.
Cool. Next news story. Tommy Tallarico announces new Earthworm Jim game with original team exclusive to the Intellivision Amico. The press release reads as follows. In celebration of the 25th anniversary of Earthworm Jim, Intellivision Entertainment is proud to announce it has gathered together and reunited the original Earthworm Jim team to create a brand new video game adventure exclusively for the upcoming Intellivision Amico home video game console. 10 of the original programmers, artists, audio team, and level designers are taking part in bringing back the uniqueness and humor of Earthworm Jim. To celebrate the reunion with the fans, a 20-minute live interactive simulcast streaming event, that's a lot of buzzwords, will take place on Saturday, May 4th at noon Pacific during the first Earthworm Jim design meeting with the original team. As part of the live simulcast, the team will engage with fans to hear their new vision firsthand. Multiple original art pieces will be hand-drawn by the artist. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that, you get it. this game doesn't exist yet. Intellivision Amico is designed to bring friends and families together, and we're excited for fans and those just being introduced to the series to get a first look as we kick off the design of the game. So Tommy Tallarico is the Intellivision Entertainment CEO and president, and the original Earthworm Jim 1 and 2 composer and sound designer. Tommy Tallarico is a name you probably remember if you ever watched Electric Playground back in the day. One of the original reviewers of all that. One of the original us's in a lot of ways for what we do in the video front, at least. And he is renowned in the video game sound side of things.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever been those video game
music.
live concerts, he organizes all of those.
Yeah. I guess he still does. Yeah, like he was the founder of all that stuff. And
but his big play now is relaunching the Intellivision console.
Amico later this year. And, you know...
How do you feel about the new Intellivision?
I'm not Jared Petty. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
Old games are old, dude.
It's just like, this is... I don't know who exactly is the audience for this besides Jared Petty and the Jared Pettys of the world, of which there are a few, right?
I'm sure.
But yeah, the thing is, I will give them credit and kudos. This is the way to do it, right? Like, this is bring back games that would speak to those people to sell this console, to sell the thing. And Earthworm Jim, was won Game of the Year awards when it first came out.
Yeah, I mean, look, Earthworm Jim is a name that again, I don't know how much it means to the kids today, but it's something that older gamers certainly remember from back in the 16-bit era. And then it continued after. They did some 3D remakes and stuff like that were less successful. I think it's only really the first couple of games, the 2D platformers, that were really popular. Ask someone who's like between 18 and 24 today what Earthworm Jim is. They probably have no fucking idea. So that's certainly true of the Intellivision name. I don't know. I have a bigger question about just the strength of the Intellivision brand. Even back in the day when it was Intellivision and Atari 2600, the Intellivision was always the Betamax of that era. Like, it's the one that if you had that, people kind of felt sorry for you. Like, oh, you have an Intellivision?
Yeah.
Oh, and you've got that sympathetic look.
Yeah, it was like Greg. It was like Greg with the Sega. Back in the day, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Greg.
So I don't know what and they never had, like, I remember in television, you had that dumb controller and the games are no good. Obviously, I think this is a whole different box, and all it is, they've slapped the name brand on it in the hope that has some nostalgia value. And I think they will bring back some old Intellivision games and God knows what, because who remembers any, and redo them.
Jared Petty does, I'm sure.
But it's like, is there space in the market for another console right now?
I don't think there is, but again, I don't think that this in any way is going to be marketed towards kids. Like, I think it is going to be a niche product marketed towards
the oldsters, the Jareds of the world.
Exactly, okay. And like that's as good as it's going to do. But if you get them on board, you got them. And I feel like it's making choices like this and bringing back games like this that get more people interested than just the name Intellivision alone. Because you're right, I don't think that does anything.
I kind of like the idea of like the dad consoles. Like a new generation of consoles just for us oldies that remember all this old shit.
Yeah.
Like, not every, the 18 to 24-year-olds don't totally rule the world, just mostly.
Yeah, just mostly. Next news story. Sega is refocusing on existing IP. This comes from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Following an earnings slip, Sega is gearing up to refocus on its existing IP like Persona, Sonic, and Yakuza, and avoid developing too many new ones. As reported by Tweaktown, Sega's fiscal year 2018 earnings saw profits drop 70% to $23 million, and its road to 2020 roadmap of games earnings has fallen apart due to market miscalculations, too many games in development, lack of sales performance, and game delays. In response, Sega will focus on the previously mentioned IP and may also throw in a remaster/re-release or two and potentially bring over more of its key franchises and games overseas. Sega's PC business, however, has been doing well with such releases as Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, and Sega sees the PC market as a place for big opportunities for increased earnings and will continue to port its titles there. While some of its titles, such as the Yakuza series and mainline Personas, have stuck to PlayStation hardware, this new strategy affirms its new games will come to all systems from PC to mobile and even next-gen consoles like the PlayStation 5. They're pulling out the big guns, Gary. Barrett's going to be wrong eventually. They need the money. They're like, hey, we're putting Persona 5 on Switch,
Do you think we will ultimately see Persona games on other consoles?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's literally what they're saying.
This is what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
It just seemed like we came so close with what we thought was going to be the Switch version of Persona 5, and then it turned out to be something else entirely. That kind of like dashed all my dreams. I was like, this is never going to happen. But it sounds like maybe.
There's still hope. Will it be Persona 5 or some other Persona title? I don't know. But I do think that it's smart for Sega to refocus on the IP it has, that people are, that they're still connecting with people.
Yeah.
Because Sega, it's been a tumultuous journey these last couple decades.
So, I mean, the Sega, the story of Sega overall, historically, is a fascinating story of triumph and tragedy and loss. And I think more downs and ups overall. Yeah. I feel like in the great console wars, if you had to say, let me put you on the spot.
Great.
If you had to,
the answer's Nintendo.
If you had to, well, that was going to be if you had to render a historical judgment through the Nintendo Sega years, and I'm talking about Master System, NES, Genesis, Super NES, Nintendo 64, Saturn, all of the GameCube and Dreamcast, and all the different the whole kind of format wars that happened. At the end of the day, if you had to draw a line in the sand and declare a winner, it was Nintendo, wasn't it?
The real winner were the gamers. You know what I mean, Gary? What a time to be alive.
What
in
a
the 90s.
Diplomatic answer.
Nintendo. Duh.
Because it was Nintendo.
I mean, well, that's
not to say that Sega didn't have great moments. It did.
Totally. And that's my thing is everyone fucking knows, I am a Nintendo fanboy. In my heart, in my soul, I love Nintendo.
Right.
It's the magic.
But that doesn't mean you don't appreciate a great Sega game when you see one.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, like, I went on a whole tirade yesterday. I am one of the biggest Sega fans, or Sonic fans, I know. I love so many Sonic games.
Really?
To the point that I shouldn't. Yeah. Like, so many of them. And again, I'm only saying that I know, not that exist. There are people way, way crazier than me. But it's like, the 2D Sonic games are great. They're actually great, and I feel like the people that say they aren't giving them a fair shake, especially when you get to like Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic Mania that recently came out. So that's why this news is exciting to me, because this means we might get a Sonic Mania 2.
I was actually going to say the only downside of this story is more Sonic games.
I hate you, Gary. God.
Let's
I get it as a whole.
I honestly, again, it's subjective, but I honestly don't believe that Sonic has ever been good. From the very beginning, I don't think it's been any good.
I would, at some point, and this is one of those things that we're going to say and never actually do, but I want to do a series where I show you why you have misunderstood history. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that you're wrong, but I just want to I want to sit down and show you what makes Sonic special. And we'll see if it changes your opinion.
It's interesting because the Sonic games have been through so many different iterations over the years, and so I would say that I think even a Sonic fan would have to admit that, again, if you look at the entire history of Sonic from the first Genesis game to where we are today, way more bad than good.
Oh, yeah,
way more bad
than good. I get that. I know. I'm a fan. I know. It hurts me.
You know
more
better than anyone.
The Sonic cycle hurt so bad for so long. But let me
and
just.
What a strange fandom it is.
Oh, it is. It is. And but that's the thing, because it splinters, right? I am the old school type. 2D. I love 2D platformers. Are they better than Mario? No, I'm not a fucking idiot, but they're really damn good, right? I loved Sonic 1, has its issues, but cool. Sonic 2, fan-fucking-tastic. Sonic 3, on the top list of 2D platformers of all time.
What do you think is the best Sonic game?
Mania.
The recent remake one? Yeah, okay.
Because it was made by people that grew up loving...
It was like a greatest hits of Sonic.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But like, then also... better. There was new things that were even better and improved. So then there's that. In between, there was a lot of messes, a lot of misses. But the Sonic Adventure games, in my opinion, are total trash. But the fandom for those is so strong and people love them so much. If they brought back Sonic, if they did Sonic Adventure 3, that thing would sell so much based on nostalgia and just the fan base alone. And then, there's been a lot, like Sonic Boom was bad. There's a lot of other things. Sonic Colors was fine on the Wii. Sonic Generation's good. Enough of Sonic, man.
I mean, one of the interesting things about Sonic, I guess, is that it has been iterated in so many different ways that, like, if Sega were to say there's a new Sonic game coming, you have no idea what it's going to be. It could be fucking anything, because they've tried everything over the years.
It's going to be bad.
Apart from bad, but you know it's going to be bad, but you don't know what type of game it's going to be.
Sonic Mania, man, so good. Next news story. Some Smash Bros.
We just pissed off so many
stuff.
Sonic fans.
No, they know I'm on their
No, they
side,
know.
man.
They're used to it by now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just give them anything. Like, just give them some ray
It's
of
like
shine,
supporting. It's like being
sunshine.
like a Cleveland Browns fan or something. Like you know you've got to do it, but you know your life's going to be fucking miserable,
No,
and you're
yeah.
going to take a lot of shit.
But then imagine if they made a Cleveland Browns movie and then used Gangsta's Paradise in there.
You know,
I
we
wish
would
I'd
be
been
proud
here
of that.
yesterday for that trailer.
Huh?
We would be proud of that,
would
even though
be
our
proud.
fucking team sucks and we've known it for 20 years. We would be proud.
Are you a Cleveland Browns fan?
I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm talking about?
No, like no one in like Cleveland Browns. The Browns are a fucking joke, even
Right.
in Cleveland.
Right.
So is Sonic. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Some Smash Bros. Info. This comes from @PushDustin on Twitter. This message was sent on Smash release date to Japan users. Right now, the quote, right now the team and I are working on the DLC. This is from the director Sakurai of Smash. Right now, the team and I are working on the DLC. This includes the already announced Joker from Persona 5, Fighter number 2, Fighter number 3, and one more thing. Please look forward to the DLC. So the message is a couple months old. The something else might refer to the stage builder that we recently got here. But the fact that they were working on 2 and 3 at the same time that they were working on Joker, to me says we're probably going to get a E3 drop of the new character, whatever it is, whether it's one of them or two of them. I'd imagine that they'd rather show off both, release one that night, and then release another one
What
like
is
in the following months.
what's the rumor mill saying about what those new characters might be?
The rumor for a while has been Steve from Minecraft,
Okay.
the Dragon Warrior character, Doom guy from Doom.
Oh, Doom Guy. I'd love to see Doom Guy. That would be
And,
great.
Ryu from Ninja Gaiden.
His ultimate would be the BFG if you had the Doom Guy, right? That'd
I
be
mean, that's the
great.
thing is, I like all those picks.
Yeah.
I almost kind of want to be. It's not be one of them, just so I'm surprised. And we're like, we don't know what the hell is happening. Like Joker was such an out there announcement that I just loved how
I love the
bizarre
Joker
that is.
announcement.
But yeah, we'll see. Cool stuff. I love that there's Smash hype getting back in the cycle. And then the last news story I have today. This is just a cool thing that I wanted to show you guys. Kev, can you pull this up?
Yeah, 2 seconds, dude.
I can send it to assets if that makes it
I know,
easier.
I got it. Just chill out, dude.
Okay,
Just
cool.
chill out.
This is a fun thing I saw over at Kotaku. Zach Zweisen is showcasing this cool video that the YouTube channel Boundary Break did, where there's a whole video that you guys can check out at Kotaku right now, going through. They worked with Yacht Club Games, the makers of Shovel Knight, to talk about like just different secrets of the development of the game, which is really cool. But Kev, go up
What? Oh.
just to the GIF. So the 2D game is actually 3D.
How interesting.
The way that they set it so that it's not actual parallax scrolling or
It's like a
whatever.
pop-up book.
Yeah, and it looks really cool, and it's fun, fascinating stuff. Video games are cool, man.
So that's the way the game is actually built, with those different layers at different levels of depth. You just don't see that because you don't usually change your perspective.
Yeah,
Interesting.
really cool.
I don't know, it kind of ruins the magic.
It ruins the magic, Kev. You're such a little monster. Will Kevin ever not be a monster? I don't know. That's a question that we'll have to wait very long to see. But Gary, if I wanted to know what is coming to Mom and Grop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
I don't want to do the jingle.
You don't have to
Please
do the
make me-
jingle.
Thank you, Gary. People keep
I
saying
think
I don't
every
need to
look,
do the
you're
jingle.
it's not.
absolutely
It's
supposed to do
I
jingle.
think it's the duty of every host to bring their own personality and
I
style
agree.
to the show, not to copy Greg's.
And that's my thing. The jingle is Greg's. Do other
Yeah.
people do the jingle and have fun with it? Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like a tool doing the jingle. That's
Right.
not saying Greg's
You
a
gotta be
tool for
you.
doing the jingle.
You gotta be
if
true
I
to
do the
yourself.
jingle, it just doesn't feel genuine. You know,
Right.
If there was like dubstep in the jingle or something, it would feel more on brand. But there's not. Maybe I'll work on that. I'll get Andy to make me a dubstep jingle version. I'll just play it.
I like that. I like
see how
that
you guys
idea.
feel there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm insulting you guys. I don't mean it, man. I just feel like I just can't get it up. You know what I mean? I can't impress you guys. What's out today? Crashbots on Xbox One and Switch. Epitasis
Nailed it.
on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Tabletop Racing World Tour on Switch. Puzzle Herder on Switch. Midnight Remastered on PC and Mac. Grunt 1914 on PC. Precipice on PC. Rogue Slash on PC. Timefall on PC and Mac. And Bit Dungeon 3 on PC. New dates for you. May's PlayStation Plus games are What Remains of Edith Finch and Overcooked.
Oh, it's a good couple of games there.
Yeah, Overcooked. Fantastic. What a great co-op game. What a great competitive game.
One of the great shouting at each other on the couch kind of games ever made.
Mm-hmm. And I love it, too, because it is such a game that you can give to someone that has never held a controller, and after about 3 rounds, they'll get it enough.
My dad, who has no idea how to hold a video game controller, has never played a video game in his life, actually got into it with us. And with my wife and I and he were all playing it together, and he picked it up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and that really says a lot about the accessibility of it. I think part of what helps is you still, if you're a complete newbie to video games, you still have to figure out like what the A and B button is. But everyone understands like I need the bacon to go with the eggs. Like the setting of it is it's not like Destiny where you've got to get some bullshit crystal or something where what the hell's going on. Everyone understands that in a kitchen. Okay, I need my onions and I need my tomatoes and chop them up, and like the rules of it, anyone can understand, and that's the beauty of it. The same reason why Wii Tennis was so popular with the oldies, because everyone understood tennis and everyone understood swinging a racket.
Yeah, we played Overcooked, and it was me, Gia's sister, little sister, and one of my friends, and we decided to do 2-on-2, and it was me and Gia's sister versus my friend and Gia.
Right.
And Gia's little sister, even though she doesn't play games, picked it up immediately.
Yeah.
Totally understood. Gia, one of them dumb kids, could not understand it to save her life. And she understood the cooking so well, but just couldn't. The hand-eye coordination was wrong, and it really frustrated her. And was that satisfying to me? Oddly, it was. Oddly, it was. Because she's always in there giving me shit for not actually being able to cook. Well, guess who can't fucking use an analog stick? Take that to the bank. It's time for some reader mail. But first, let me tell you that this episode is brought to you by Sherries Berries. Mother's Day is coming up, and there's absolutely nothing most of us wouldn't do to make sure the special moms in our life are happy. My mom deserves to be happy this Mother's Day. It's true. It's very true. And so does yours. And all of the other moms out there. Grandmas, sisters, sisters-in-laws, kids, godmothers, neighbors, friends, neighbors' dogs. Everybody deserves these strawberries. Sherries Berries has special Mother's Day berries designed just for mom that are topped with chocolate chips, pink shimmer, sugar, and swizzles. Kevin absolutely loves them. Is that true or not,
They're
Kev?
so good!
He keeps eating them. We can't stop him. He is an unstoppable force. You can choose your delivery date to ensure mom gets your gift of Sherries Berries exactly when you want her to, and your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Don't wait until the last minute on this one. Visit berries.com today to order freshly dipped strawberries starting at $19.99 for the moms in your life. To make mom really happy, you can double the berries, double the fun for just $10 more. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. We're approaching that very quickly. So visit berries.com. That's BERRIES.com. Click on the microphone in the upper right corner and enter code KFGames. That's berries.com. Click the microphone, KFGames. And if berries aren't your thing, or even if they are, you can add even more to this with ProFlowers. Don't forget to thank the real pros this Mother's Day. Where would you be without your mom? That's a good question. You wouldn't exist. My mom is a pro at making me laugh. So I want to be a pro at getting her flowers. Andrea loves them. Gia loves them. Paula loves them. There's just so much to love about ProFlowers. ProFlowers let you choose a variety of bouquets and unique vases that suit every mom's style. Then you simply set the delivery date you want. ProFlowers carefully packages your flowers and delivers them fresh from the farm. They're in this box. It's real easy. You just open the box and it's pretty much ready to go. Right now you can get 1 dozen assorted roses for $19.99. Double the roses, double the fun. And get a premium vase for just $9.99 more. Visit proflowers.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner and enter code KFGames. That's proflowers.com, click the microphone, enter code KFGames. Mother's Day's May 12th. Don't wait.
What does that code get you? How much do you get off? Did you say what the discount was?
You can get 1 dozen assorted roses for $19.99.
Oh, okay. If you use the code. Got it. Okay.
And then, I don't even know if you heard this part, but you can double the roses, double the fun. And get a premium vase for just $9.99 more. Proflowers.com. Click the microphone. KFGames. It's time for reader mail, Gary. Let's see what's going on.
What have people been saying?
Pokemon, the 2038 Pokemon CEO writes in and says, the Sonic trailer aired to mediocre feedback. The team working on this movie must have expected this. Does the team lose morale for the remainder of the project? The team are just as human as you and I. Reading this much negative feedback must hurt. Have you been in a similar situation? Any advice on bouncing back from working on a project like this?
I feel like
I've certainly seen that. I mean, I've had 3 movies where, you know, 3 times now I've gone through the process of seeing the first trailer drop and being really excited about it, but then obviously also being aware of what, you know, wanting to see what the reaction is. And we live in an age now where there's like a whole trailer reaction industry. There's like YouTubers out there that do nothing but sit and react to trailers. So there's like there's more feedback now to trailers than there's ever been. You know, you're just swimming in it. I've been really fortunate that you know, with the 3 of my movies, none of them got really bad, at least trailer reactions. Like the Eli trailer, people thought, oh yeah, it's interesting, that looks like it could be good. After Earth was like, yeah, you know, who knows? Like, it wasn't like a pylon. That came when the movie came out. And then Rogue One, where people were obviously super excited, and the trailer reactions were terrific. And that is when you get a good reaction, that's obviously hugely, you know, exciting. I you know, as much as the Sonic trailer is what it is, and probably I feel like even though I don't really approve of like the internet snark machine and everyone piling on, the Sonic trailer is what it is, and I can understand why
taking
people
the kid?
I'm probably going to have to, because she likes Sonic. I'm probably going to have to go.
She has good taste, Gary.
Well, given the choice,
Sonic
she would much
Mania.
rather see it. She's much more excited about Detective Pikachu.
Let's go. 1 week.
It's
Can't
only
wait.
a week away.
Oh.
We're gonna we'll be taking my kid to see it the opening weekend for sure.
That's awesome.
Very exciting. And it actually looks like it might be good.
It looks
my
like
friend,
it might be
my good friend
amazing.
Nicole Perlman, who co-wrote Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, also co-wrote Detective Pikachu. And
Wow.
I was actually at I happened to have a meeting at Legendary a couple of weeks ago, who made the movie, and they had just had a big screening, and all these kids and families were coming out. And I said, "What do you think of the movie?" And they all loved it. So I think, you know, I think it's going to be good. I remember when I first heard, because I remember Nicole telling me I'm working on this movie called Detective Pikachu. I was like, oh my God, like that sounds like a fucking nightmare.
I know.
But then the first trailer drops, and I fully expected the pylon, but people actually really warmed to it. They seem to love it, right?
I have never experienced a flip in opinion that quickly.
With Detective, you went from hating it to thinking
I
this
went
could
from
be
like,
good.
why the fuck are they making a Detective Pikachu movie? Just give me a Pokemon movie. And then I saw this,
Right.
I'm like, I am an idiot. This is the best route they could have ever taken. They're about to make Pokemon accessible to people that don't care. Nick's
Yeah.
going to watch this movie and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, they're gonna make a fortune on that film.
Oh, yeah.
Sonic is what it is.
Can Sonic just catch a break, man? Like, oh, why does it have to come out the year Detective Pikachu
I have this
does?
theory. I was mansplaining this to my wife earlier. I have this theory that Sonic as a character is so fundamentally poorly designed to begin with that there's no way they could ever have made a good CG version of him. He's an abomination just on a design level to begin with. So there was no way. Like when people are laughing about the human teeth and stuff like that, it's interesting. He's always had those human teeth. You go back to like the 3D games, you can see he's got human teeth. It's really weird. He's just a weird character, just a weird furry abomination of a character.
So cool, man. He's so cool.
I actually think, you know, Jim Carrey could be. I actually like the Dr. Robotnik look they came up with for him. Like, you know, it could be good. It's not going to be.
Yeah.
But, you know, it could be.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Can you not delete them right now? Because I need to copy the questions downstairs.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So can you
I'm
put
going to
back
send you
on-
something to assets real quick that I think is important for Gary.
Did you
to
do a
see.
trailer reaction thing on Kind of Funny yet to the Sonic trailer?
Yesterday's Games Daily, me and
Okay,
Barrett.
they dealt with it.
Yeah, me and Barrett dealt with it is a good way to put it.
Yeah, but when you've got kids, you've got to go see that stuff whether you want to or not.
Yeah. Can you pull that up, Kev?
Both Tim and Barrett want to see it, though, right?
What are we
Yo,
looking
I'm
at?
ready.
What are we looking
this
at
is
here?
a video from 2010. That's me.
Is that you?
That is very skinny young baby Tim. As
Oh
Sonic
my
the Hedgehog.
God. Wait,
You might ask, what's happening?
yeah, what is
I
happening?
don't have a good answer for you. I don't at all.
This part of one of the
No,
shoots?
this was back in 2010. This is before my IGN days, before anything. Sega had a contest for Sonic fans to make a video, and then you can win a trip to Japan, and that was very enticing to me.
We did not.
And this was your entry?
This is like just behind the scenes footage of a video that never got completed due to many behind the scenes issues. But I was actually looking through the footage last night, Kev. I have so much gold that I feel like I could edit together, including Kevin in the background at 5 a.m. fed up that he had to shoot this bullshit that I was making him do. But yeah,
Why were we recording at 5 a.m.?
it just lasted a long time. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, don't have a great answer for you.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean,
love-
how can you? There is no good answer for that.
You hitting me up being like, hey, do you have a snowboard that you don't care about? It's just
Because
so...
the background of this, Gary, as
Where
I'm
are the
sure,
rings coming from? Someone's throwing rings
That's
onto the
probably
screen.
Alfredo or me.
that was Alfredo just throwing rings at me. But the key thing for you to know about this is the opening level, probably the best level
So good.
of Sonic Adventure 2, took place in San Francisco, where Sonic is snowboarding down the streets of the hills of San Francisco. All right, and the song "Escape from the City" is playing.
And the new movie is actually set in San Francisco.
And I
I
think
didn't know
that's
that
why.
San Francisco and Sonic were so closely
Just in the one level, but like
intertwined.
they are because of that. So we had the idea of like, hey, Daly City's the next best thing, so let's use those
Are
hills.
you, as a kind of funny group, are you going to go see the Sonic movie?
I am.
I feel like you should all go.
I'm going for sure.
We're definitely not all going to go. Several of us will go, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on screen.
I feel like the best way to go see that movie is in a large group.
I'm ready.
And then
man.
get drunk.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah?
No, day one.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's read a couple more questions here. What's a good one? Daze writes in and says, "What the fuck is Rage 2 even supposed to be? This game comes out in less than a week, and I hear absolutely nothing. Is Bethesda
It's coming out in a week?
Is Bethesda throwing this game out to die, or are gamers simply not interested? Please share your thoughts."
I thought Rage 2 was farther out.
No, it's a week, so we'll see, man. I've been saying for a while that like this game seems like it's coming out at a time to die, because with Far Cry New Dawn and all, this just seems weird.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, cool. We got 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Isn't like Bethesda's thing that they don't send out review copies anymore? They're just done with that shit.
Well, and there's that too.
So
Yeah,
it's-
but that's
this
like a
is-
weird thing too, because isn't that
No,
with like
this is their
bigger
MO.
companies? Isn't that with like bigger review sites and stuff? Like, didn't they have like a
Oh, you're right. I think
Yeah.
that they did say they were still gonna send some stuff for like niche people.
influencers and shit like that? Yeah.
But I feel like that
Either way, Rage 2, especially now that it's in between Far Cry New Dawn and Borderlands, this is weird, man.
I think Far Cry New Dawn is. I don't know. I think that's not as relevant. Like after a week after Far Cry New Dawn, I feel like no one was really talking about it except Nick Scarpino.
But my
So,
question is, the week of Rage 2, will people be talking about Rage 2?
I believe so.
You think?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
It
I could
previewed
totally
really
be
well.
wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm with Daze right now. I'm not hearing shit, and anything I am
Yeah,
hearing
it's kind
is
of weird.
kinda like,
I knew it was coming. I assumed it was further out because you'd usually think like a week or two before launch, there's some buzz, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Where's the buzz?
They might want to keep quiet because they knew all this Borderlands stuff was coming out too. So they might like. I wouldn't be surprised if like starting later this week or next week we start hearing like we start seeing a fuck ton of ads and people talking about it and stuff.
Tommyboy writes in and says, Borderlands, looter shooter or shooter looter?
Interesting. Is there a difference?
I don't know. I'm going to say looter shooter because shooter looter I've never heard.
I heard somebody call him a schluter the other day.
How'd that
I
make
didn't
you
like,
feel?
I didn't like that.
You didn't like it?
No.
I don't like it either. I liked it when you said it, but I don't think I'd like this guy saying it. That's enough for questions today. Squad up time. PS4 user RedWolfCrusader is his PSN. His name is Anthony Ragucci. What a great name. Again, RedWolfCrusader on PSN. Hey, best friends, this is a long shot, but yeah, why the hell not? I need some urgent assistance with Uncharted 4's survival mode trophies. Obtaining all 3 stars on each stage in the crushing difficulty. I need at least 2 best friends for a full party, preferably at least one person who really knows this mode and helps me get this done ASAP. Thanks, Tim and Gary. Tim, nice meeting you at the New York City meetup. I was the dude with the Batman vs. Superman is a good movie shirt. It was great meeting you, even if you have bad taste in t-shirts and movies. That's fine. That's fine. We all have our
He
own
was
opinions.
wearing it ironically, Tim.
I'm sure he was. But help him out. Help out Anthony Ragucci. Hit him up, PSN. Red Wolf Crusader. He needs 2 people. I'm sure there's a lot of best friends out there that have this trophy, know how hard it was to get, and can help him out with this. Now it's time for You're Wrong. Let's see what we got wrong.
What did we get wrong? Anything?
Gary Whitta. What if I showed you
A completely blank
a
document?
completely
Nobody
blank
wrote in?
document? Not a single person.
That's
There's no
a
way.
first.
not a single
There's no way.
person.
That can't be right.
I don't
Tim,
know.
they go in there to tell you their opinions on how their
I
day's
mean, they
going.
didn't. I even asked
Yeah,
for
there's usually at
opinions
least some bullshit in there.
in the beginning of the
accurate.
show. I asked.
Did you put a flag up for You're Wrong at the top of the show? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I did.
Somebody's saying in the chat, I wrote in like 5 today.
So there's
Really?
is there something wrong
Yeah.
with the
Are you
document?
just making that up, Kev?
No, K-Babs right now on TV.
Yeah, K-Babs always writes in.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then
Is
he
there
said
something
you're
wrong
a
with
dumb
it?
bitch.
Do you have to like refresh the document or something?
I mean, I refreshed it.
Oh shit! Now he's calling you fat.
Let's see.
It's not nice.
I'm refreshing it.
There is nothing there.
Maybe it's another tab.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is it
Now,
like that?
were you on the wrong tab or something?
No, I'm not on the wrong
Oh, it's
tab.
on the bottom.
Well, then
Yeah,
but why?
it's blank for hundreds of rows.
Why is the first screen blank and then it only appears like on the second
People
screen?
are dumb. There's two things that could be happening. One, they could be deleting it but not clearing the tab lines. Or two.
Yeah, but there's like 30. The first 30 lines of the spreadsheet are empty.
Tim, can
weird.
you share that spreadsheet with me so I can clean it up?
I'm sharing it with you. Now I'm gonna look at all this. We got a lot wrong, I think.
We did.
Dumb
Okay,
dude
I'm not
faces.
doubting it. It might just be a bunch of pissed off Sonic fans.
Or happy Sonic fans that somebody understands them.
Feels their pain.
Okay, we're getting a lot of bullshit. I'm gonna say it right now.
Okay, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, it is. Kebab says, I remember the God of War patches. It was crazy.
Okay,
Thanks, kebabs.
what else?
Okay, Nanobiologist brings some actual cool info here. The patches that
Kebabs.
God of War... No, it's not against Kebab.
No,
It's
I know,
just a
that
shout
was-
out
that
to
was me doing that. That
Nanobiologist.
was me
It wasn't
doing
me. The patches that God of War fixed were weapons disappearing during fights and traps not triggering in areas, delaying progress, or button prompts not appearing. This didn't affect all users. Cool.
Yeah, it's tight. Didn't affect us. Fuck yeah.
Anything else?
Not really.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. Is it just all bullshit?
It's just all bullshit.
Damn, dude, a bunch of bullshit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, now here we're getting to the Sonic stuff.
Okay, there's some.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hear some Sonic opprobrium. Come on.
I mean, it's not... Nothing's fun. It's just Gary's wrong.
Okay,
Which is
love
which is
Sonic.
right.
right.
But, it's okay.
Don't freak out. Yeah, let's delete these rows. Oh, shit. No, yeah, okay, cool. It just moved it up. You seen that? Everything good on your end?
Yeah, Rage 2's out May 14th.
Barrett already.
Cool, that's it. So
That's it?
we didn't really get much wrong.
No, I'm just
I'll
amazed
count this
by
as a
how much
success.
bullshit gets written because I'm seeing like 50 different entries there, but most of
Yeah.
them are garbage, I guess.
It's all garbage, man.
Okay. No, we didn't get much wrong. And I don't think I'm even
perfect.
wrong about Sonic.
Yeah, really? Well, between the two of us, we're right. You know what I mean? We have some right opinion. We'll get in the whole fan base here. The people that hate Sonic and the people that stand up for him for being a really cool guy that means well.
As much as I don't like to do it, because I always like my Twitter feed. There's so much negativity out there. I always try to keep my Twitter feed positive and only tweet positive things. And if there's something that I don't like, I just kind of keep my mouth shut about it rather than contribute to all the toxicity that's out there and the negativity. I like to talk about things I like, but I don't like to talk about things I don't like. The Sonic trailer, though, I couldn't help myself, and I gave myself a whole pass to be snarky one time.
Yeah.
And I made a tweet about it. And I had a lot of Sonic fans, even though it was a tweet that attacked both the movie and Sonic fans at the same time. I got a lot of Sonic fans writing to me saying, yeah, we kind of deserve that one. I feel like Sonic fans are very self-aware.
Yeah, we are. Until next time, I love you.